Episode 28. The Labyrinth. The great C.S. Lewis once wrote, gleefully, but unhelpfully, "I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else." For Lewis, the journey of a Christian was something of a winding path, in best-case scenarios lit by the sun. Still, it was one occasionally blocked by trials, junctures that forced difficult decisions, and many, many opportunities to be waylaid by distractions. Lately, however, I think it's more apt to use a labyrinth as the metaphor for life's twists and turns. Hear me out. There's a cageness about life, high walls that impede visibility, occasionally block out the sun, and enable a wallowing in one's own lonely and sometimes dire situation. There is a way ahead, and there is the way behind where we came from. Sometimes there's even a crossroads where we have options, a decision to make. But the visibility is poor. Most ways that we see turn quickly round a corner, leaving us largely blind. What's ahead? Who knows? This is compounded by a few things. One, we don't know where we're actually going. What is the end game, actually? What, out of the labyrinth? Escape? Escape to what? All we seem to know is that standing still won't get us anywhere, and as the present state is a fair amount of lonely wallow, we'd much rather see if there are better options somewhere else. In other words, going somewhere is better than going nowhere. It should be said that another fun characteristic of a labyrinth is that we're always turned around. We never know if we're moving ahead, quote unquote, or winding our way back to where we came from. 2. A labyrinth doesn't have clean and tidy pathways, do they? No. No, in the labyrinth of life, some are overtaken by seediness, bad company, or just a penetrating darkness that we can't quite explain. And even if they might, and I stress might, lead us closer to the quote-unquote end, it's often just not worth facing the discomfort of these seedy places. So we go another way. 3. In the innate aloneness of this enterprise, we are forced to face some untidy things about ourselves. But when that gets to be too much, we think outwardly and tell ourselves all manner of positive, hopeful things about the world at large, often based on nothing factual whatsoever. It's worth the lostness, we tell ourselves. It is worth the wandering. It is worth the unknowing and the dark passages. The end, we affirm, is worth the journey. So we bounce in and out, out and in. We are enough. We will find a way to sustain ourselves and move forward. But then again, no, if that were true, we'd be out already, wouldn't we? So we must depend on something greater than ourselves to guide us. But what is that thing? I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I don't feel anything. Maybe it really is just us. And so on, and flip-flop, and so on, and flip-flop. Now, the light in all of this is the one thing beyond us that may inadvertently cross our path. Another human being. When suddenly we turn a corner and there is someone else, or when someone from behind stumbles on us, agonizing over a decision juncture, we cannot help but smile. We're not alone. Not alone. You're on this journey too? Lost like me? Well, that's something, isn't it? 2 better than 1. Even if we never find the out, the escape, the end, or whatever it is we're aiming for, we will figure out some path together. And in our sharing, we will build bonds. We will connect. And heck, even if we disagree, there's something to be happy about. A new understanding of ourselves emerged from contrast, what we prize and what we don't. Eventually, we come to understand something in all of that twisting and turning. We may never reach anything. But moving, joining, togetherness, if that remains possible, we'll know one thing. We may still be lost. In fact, we are still lost. And yes, we'll still stumble into dangerous corners and face impossible decisions that end in a shrugging, well, I don't know, let's go this way. And we'll circle ourselves and find each other back where we were 10 days, 10 months, 10 years ago. But no matter. There will always be people to wrong turn with. And so great is their impression on us that we forget to think about where we're going. And we start thinking more about who we'll meet, what they'll be like, and what we'll learn from them. Sorry, CS. I'm afraid I've either got Christianity wrong or you do. There's not much seeing in the labyrinth of life, and sometimes not much sun. The only constants, it seems, being lost and being found.